Hello everyone and welcome to a new YouTube video by me, DavDav Building. Today back again with a new basics of building video. This time I will be explaining the basics of raiding in Rust and how you should go about calculating raid costs. First, let's begin with how to raid. For those very new to raiding, I will simply give some stats about the most common things in Rust and how to raid them. Let's begin with the classic of what people think of when they hear the word raiding. Explosive raiding. Beginning with building blocks, I want to start off with saying that every building block from the same material will have the same raid cost. A wooden wall, if attempted to be raided, should be done in 49 explosive ammo. A stone wall should be done in 4 rockets, 200 expo ammo or 10 satchels. A metal wall 8 rockets or 7 rockets and 6 explosive ammo, which can be used but might be hard during an actual raid. And at last, an armored wall, which would be 15 rockets to raid. Here I say the raid cost in rockets because it is the standard unit for measuring strength in a base because of its great strength and splash damage, allowing for access into multiple parts of the base at once. But of course there are other ways of raiding as well, commonly referred to as eco raiding, because of them either not using any or very little sulfur compared to raiding with explosives. But eco raiding comes in many different forms, the most common of which is the softsiding. In this practice, you abuse an exposed soft side of a wall or similar. The soft side is the backside of a wall, the upside of a foundation or the downside of a floor. Here you destroy them from there because of them taking a lot of extra damage from melee tools to their soft side. A common use of this is destroying a stone wall with 23 spears. Another option is to hardside a wooden building block or wooden door with swords and a repair bench. Another very underrated option is the shotgun raiding. In this you shoot handmade shells with a shotgun, most commonly a pump with silencer. This only works against stone or wooden building blocks. This is the only real way of silence raiding. It has a lot of risks involved because of it being very slow and still making a good amount of sound for people to hear. Even though it still costs sulfur, it still is a lot less expensive than explosives and is very quiet compared to other early game possibilities you have, like satchels. Last but not least, an early game staple, the flamethrower raid. For this, as the name tells you already, you will need a flamethrower with which you can very easily raid through wooden walls or doors, which is especially strong in the early game when not all people can afford metal doors. And of course you can't walk through walls, and so every base needs something to allow you to get in and out. This can very easily become the weakness of any base if you don't take specific measures around it. Of course I'm talking about doors. But why is this? Well, the strongest door in Rust, the armored double or single door, is only 4 rockets, whereas the most common and cheapest wall, the stone wall, is the exact same raid cost. But why is this? Well, the strongest door in Rust, the armored double or single door, is only 4 rockets, whereas the most common and cheapest wall, the stone wall, is the exact same raid cost. Door that can be seen in every base, just because it isn't a blueprint, is the sheet metal door. It is very cheap and can be crafted from the beginning of the wipe, but with a max protection of 1 rocket and some explosive ammo, or around half a stack of expo ammo, it nearly does nothing for the end stages of the game. Then we come to the last door, the garage door. In my and most builders' opinion, this is the most OP door in the game. It is very cheap, only costing 2 gears more than the sheet metal double door and giving 3 times the protection. Other than that, it is the most convenient door by giving basically full free motion while the door is opened. Next we go to windows, which is a field in which I have noticed a lot of misconceptions. First we go to some basic raiding costs. Reinforced glass window, embrasures and metal bars are all 4 rockets. Armored window bars are 6 rockets, but everything except window glass has holes in it, allowing you to shoot rockets, expo ammo and also soft side through them. This means that they can't be used as protection in your base because you can always shoot rockets through the gaps and splash a lot more than you usually could. Also, a lot of people think that if you have both embrasures and windows in a frame that it is 8 rockets because it is 4 rockets each, when in fact it is 4 rockets for the full, because of them just being splash damaged at the same time. Whereas the things I said before are more factual, I now go to more personal opinion, which is still based on experience and the things I learned while raiding my own bases. Let's begin with a controversial question. Does softsiding actually have any place in raiding? For me, it depends. I believe that softsiding is okay if you do it before the actual raiding, as for example softsiding into a shooting floor to then later shoot rockets. I also can get behind soft-siding in a base once you already have TC and successfully sealed the base, so that you can soft-side in peace without being scared of raiders coming to counter. Soft-siding, in my opinion, doesn't have a place if you want to do it after already having used explosives, because of them attracting counters that then can kill you and steal your entire raid. And although the argument of you being able to soft-side a wall very easily as a big group isn't false, I don't think this matters at all, because groups that have a size to soft-side fast and protect themselves in the process of raiders are so big that the little rockets they save aren't worth it. This leads to my last point of how you should calculate raid costs of bases. Raid cost should be the minimum required explosives to reach a set amount of loot. In most cases, main loot, which for example in my last base would be the 2x2 core including the unlootable. And although there will still be a lot of loot left to take, it doesn't matter because the valuable stuff the raiders actually care about would be protected in the core. An all loot raid can also be advertised, but should then be claimed as a full raid, which in my opinion isn't a metric a base should be measured by. I thought this was obvious, but I have gotten a lot of comments about this. But raid cost should be calculated from knowing how to perfectly raid the base. But of course, this should still include you damaging yourself with rockets, because suicide rocketing, in my opinion, for the same reason as soft-siding, isn't viable. Also, when shooting rockets, you should only take angles that you could actually use if it were a real raid. If after this you are still unsure about the raid cost of things, I will link to a good video by Sir Tiger about raiding as well. Or you can just ask me in the comment section down below and I will try to answer. If you have a very specific question about how easy any single thing is to destroy, you can check at rustlabs.com, which is a website I check out all the time. If you're watching this because you're new to Rust, check out breakingservers.com for guides. They also have a noob-friendly server for beginners. This was the video, thank you all for watching, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, later!